Hi, welcome to Community Connections on Win Life TV. Today in studio we have some friends from Watts, and we have some people here, special guests, the #1 Cubs fan in the world. So welcome Marion and Jay to the studio.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you, Mike.
and so to break the ice, what we're going to discuss first is that you are from Boston, and you may or may not have a wicked accent. You may park your car.
I absolutely parked my car, and I absolutely have a wicked accent.
So
everyone's just going to need to.
I will translate.
There you go.
Having been from
Okay.
Rhode Island, if there's a communication issue, I'll help out. And Jay, you have got to be exhausted.
I am exhausted.
You were up all night watching the baseball game.
Yep.
But yeah, I think everybody around here knows you as the #1 Cubs fan. Little did we know you're also one of the #1 Watts fans too.
There you go. Thank you. Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, let's tell everybody out there in Win Life land, what is Watts?
Okay.
What do you do?
Okay, Watts is the Winchester Area Temporary Thermal Shelter, and we are a temporary shelter that houses adult guests, female and male, during the coldest winter months of the year. We actually save lives when it's really freezing out there. We provide a warm, safe place for our guests to stay.
And that's starting soon, right? You're going to.
It is starting soon. It is starting this Monday, November 7th. We'll be opening up at the Welltown United Methodist Church, and we'll be opening our doors to our guests for our first week of our 8th season.
How many weeks does this go? All winter long?
Well, we'll be going for 20 weeks this year. When we started, we had 10 weeks, and we've grown thanks to the wonderful generosity of the community churches and organizations. We've grown from 10 weeks to 20 weeks. So we'll start November 7th, and we'll go through March 27th.
And basically what people do is they get to contact Watts and find out where the next shelter is, because it rotates, right, through different organizations.
It does. It rotates. We rotate every week. So every Monday morning, we'll start Monday night at 7 o'clock at Welltown, and the following Monday morning, we rotate and we move to our next facility. And there's a 20-week schedule. It's actually posted on our webpage. It's posted on our Facebook page. It is out throughout the community. And some of our homeless people knew what our shelter schedule was before. Sometimes I even knew what it was, because there is that network of when's Watts going to open. You know, our policy is if you're in Watts tonight, you're guaranteed a bed the next night. So as long as our guests show up at the appropriate time, which is 7 o'clock in the city churches and 6:30 at our bus pickup location, then they're guaranteed a bed. So somebody literally could stay in Watts the whole 20 weeks.
So you are saving lives, right? Because if someone was outside in the elements, when it's that kind of cold, they could get frostbite, they get some hypothermia, and obviously we could have people that are dying on the streets. But your organization has come together to solve that issue.
Well, to help solve the issue, help be able to provide an environment to be able to protect some of those people. First year of Watts, somebody did actually die of hypothermia because he was worried about leaving his tent and his belongings, and so he did stay out in that frigid cold weather and did die of hypothermia.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we do have some homeless people around here. I think that we really don't understand that as a community. We really don't understand how many homeless people we do have.
Right. We have a lot of homeless people, and you know it's difficult to even know what the exact number is because there's not an accurate count that's made of them. But I can tell you, last season in 20 weeks, we filled 4,470 cots during that period of time, and there were some nights that we turned people away because our capacity is 35.
That's an extraordinary number.
It's an extraordinary number. You're right.
Wow. I mean, I think the theme of today has already been about helping people. We had someone here talked about gleaning apples, and a little girl on earlier was talking about putting socks on people's feet that are homeless, and it's like all the pieces of the puzzle here, and the shelter issue is such an important thing. What about food if they're at the shelter?
Oh, our guest eats so wonderfully. Watts is a volunteer army, and if it were not for our volunteers, we had over 1,700 volunteers last year throughout the season. And so once our guests are at the facility, outside of myself and my 6 managers, they're the only paid staff for Watts, Otherwise, it's run totally by volunteers. So at each congregation or each shelter facility, there's a lead volunteer who arranges all of the volunteers. The guests get home-cooked meals, just amazing meals. We had some guests last year complain that they gained weight while they were staying at Watts, so they get a really good home-cooked meal, a dinner, safe, warm place to stay, a nutritious breakfast, and a bagged lunch to go if they would like.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
And you can't do all you do without people like Jay.
We can absolutely not do all we do without people like Jay.
So when you're not cheering for the Cubs and driving the amazing van around, you're putting together concerts.
Right.
So let's talk about that for a minute. So, you know, what was cool is when I looked at this poster, I was like, Colton Dixon. That's a famous.
Yeah.
That's a famous guy. So I'll hold this up so David can take a peek at it. But you have a concert coming up, and I guess you can say the date if you want to throw that out
Sure.
there.
It's Saturday, November 19th. It's at the Patsy Cline Theater at John Hanley High School.
And you have this amazing lineup. So it's Building 429, Colton Dixon, and Finding Favor.
That's correct.
What kind of music is it?
It's Christian rock music. So if you don't listen to the lyrics, you just think you're at a rock concert. But they do have a message behind the lyrics. So, you know, it's a way that my partner and I, Sean Dudley, and I can give back to the community. So we formed this 501c3 called Catch and Unleash Productions. And we've teamed up with Marion and Watts because, like Watts, we're 100% volunteer. We've got no paid staff. We've got no overhead. Everything we do, every penny we make is going to go to Watts and also the John Hanley High School Fellowship of Christian Athletes. So because Hanley's hosting us, we teamed with the FCA and with Watts, and we're just giving all the money away. So it's a lot of fun.
Isn't that awesome?
Giving money away is always
It's
fun.
always
Yes,
fun.
it's totally
Absolutely.
awesome. Yes.
And Marion, what does the organization do with the money so this isn't the only event that benefits you throughout the course of the year. So as donations come in, what do you do with the funding?
Well, we are 100% dependent upon donations and being beneficiaries of events such as this, and 100% of every penny that we bring in goes to our operations, goes to our shelter, our equipment. Last year we bought a bus, so because we have 13 out-of-city locations, we needed to have reliable transportation for our guests, so we took on the overhead of a bus, which, you know, definitely increased our expenses also with drivers and insurance. So every single penny that anyone donates to Watts, 100% of it goes directly to the operations of the shelter.
So you actually take a bus and drive around and pick up people and get them to the shelter.
We don't drive around and pick up people, but we do have a pickup location, and we are blessed this year that Another Chance Church, Pastor John Manning, agreed to let us use his facility as our pickup location so that our guests can be inside while we're waiting for the bus for those cold weather nights. And our guests know that is our pickup location. The bus is there at 6:15, leaves at 6:45, and transports our guests to whatever facility that we're going to. And then at 7 o'clock the next morning, the bus picks up our guests and transports them back into Winchester.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a heck of an operation.
Yeah.
So, Jay, just quickly, if people want to go to this concert, how
World
do they get
Vision
tickets?
presents the Earth Shaker Tour featuring Building 429. It's Building 429. Colton Dixon. And Finding Favor.
Oh, right, absolutely.
We're really excited about it. We sold out.
A night of music and more for the entire family. One night, one show. The Earth Shaker Tour with Building 429, Colton Dixon, and Finding Favor.
You said Building 429 was a really renowned acting in the Christian rock. So yeah, if people went before, I'm sure they're going to want to go again.
Like a lot of music these days, people will recognize the song that they listen to any K-Rock or any of those music stations. They'll know these artists. They're pretty well known.
Yeah, I mean, I don't follow Christian rock at all, and I already know who Colton Dixon is.
Yeah.
So there
From
you
American
go.
Idol,
Right,
obviously.
right.
Yep, he's got a huge following, and so does Finding Favor. So
Yes.
we've got 3 great bands. It's going to be a great night.
It's going to be amazing. So what's the goal? You know, $5,000, $10,000. I mean, what's
Yeah, that's a good range.
somewhere in there?
Yeah,
That's
somewhere
that's a
in there.
great range.
Yeah, somewhere in there should be doable. And because again, just like Marion said about the volunteers, you know, we're getting donations to cater for the band. We're getting lots of community donations because we are a 501c3 to put on the show, because it does have some production expense. But like I said, we've got no paid overhead. We've got no staff. It's a labor of love, from the ushers to the ticket takers to the people unloading. Trust me, on Saturday the 19th on Handley Avenue, you're going to see a semi and 2 or 3 huge rock and roll tour buses. It's amazing when these guys come to town what it looks like, and it's just a lot of fun.
And it's amazing that it's going to go to Watts.
It's amazing that it's going to go to Watts, so people can come out and have awesome entertainment, have an enjoyable night, bring their families, and have some really wonderful, decent entertainment, and be supporting an amazing ministry.
I'm glad you said that. It really is a family-friendly rock concert. So there's no profanity. There's nothing outrageous going on. It's a lot of fun.
And so it's a safe place to bring your kids and
Absolutely.
enjoy it. Now, the one thing I'll tell you about Watts is you hustle. You are out there. There's a lot of nonprofits in this community, but not a lot that work as hard as you do.
Well, thank you.
I mean, I see you at Solon Burgers out front. They have a big event. I can't remember if it was their car show or
It was the
their
yard sale.
The yard sale.
Yes.
Yard.
I know, I was
Let's
waiting for you to
Let's have a
correct
funny.
that.
Let's have a funny moment
A
off
funny
script.
moment.
Yard.
Yard.
No. Yard.
Yard.
So I can say yard
Yard.
too. If I said yard, no one would know.
I
what
would
I'm s-
know. I wouldn't know you
You'd
said
know what
yard.
I'm
I
saying
think
if I
I'd
said yard
understand you
sale.
perfectly.
This is the fun of this show. We get people from all over, all have come to Winchester, Virginia to make a difference. And you are having one heck of an impact on this community.
Well, I appreciate that, and it's all of our absolutely amazing volunteers. You know, without our volunteers and without people who do things like what Jay and Sean are doing, and Patty and John Sullenberger, you know, people who absolutely understand that we have a really awful homeless problem in the community, and there is so much that needs to be done, and Watts is just, and I'm very humbled to be able to be part of an organization that does what we do during the 20 weeks that we do it.
It is incredible. I mean, you mentioned the Sullenbergers. Jay, there's a lot of what I call community leaders who have stepped up and they've embraced the concept of Watts, recognizing this. And we have to take people who are some camping out behind Target and Lowe's and all that. People are intense and they're just trying to find a place to stay warm. And you know, without Watts, I mean, Watts is filling a massive gap.
It is. We are the only low barrier shelter. We are the only shelter that will take someone without an ID and in various stages of sobriety or not, and welcome them in and provide a warm, safe place for them to stay.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And I just think the work you're doing is just really something that over the last couple of years as you've grown, this has been just a new cornerstone of what makes our community unique. It's just, we've got people feeding, people collecting coats, there's so many good things happen in this community to help each other. And then what we really didn't have is that extra shelter program, because we always kept hearing Salvation Army is full, there's no place for me to go, the shelter for abused women is full. I mean, like, where does somebody go? And so without Watts, there just would be a huge void and people on the street. So thank you.
Well, thank you, and you know, we continue to struggle with that because there are some nights that we turn people away. So as an organization, we're looking at how can we do more and how can we possibly, you know, expand our services. And it's there's just a lot to do out there. There's a lot of problems and a lot of people that need help, and we're fortunate that we have so many wonderful nonprofit organizations and churches that do so many things for the less fortunate in our community. So Winchester is a very giving community, and we're blessed to have that support.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, when I left Rhode Island, I didn't think I'd ever find a place like Winchester that has so many caring, giving people. And we have morphed over, I don't know, I've been here 25, 26 years. This community has morphed into people from all over the country.
Right.
And they've come together to embrace each other and then the challenges of all the things that we've had to deal with.
Exactly.
So, thank you again.
Well, thank you. Appreciate the opportunity,
Yeah,
and
thank you, Mike.
thank
Yeah.
you to Jay and
welcome.
Sean, because we're blessed to have you guys.
So thank you. So for everybody out there in Win Life viewership land, this is going to be an amazing concert with headline acts, and so Jay has brought in some big names, and I think like he mentioned, a family-friendly concert that benefits an organization that is incredibly needed here in this community. Watch is something that is going to be
World
more
Vision presents the Earthshaker Tour featuring Building 429. It's Building 429. Colton Dixon. And Finding Favor. A night of music and more for the entire family. One night, one show. The Earthshaker Tour.